Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. Thank you so much for logging in today. You're welcome to an hour with Nangla, which is a platform that engages activists or actors as individuals or non governmental organizations working in the area of gender based violence prevention in Cameroon and in Africa at large. So today we have with us an amazing champion, Sirri Emelda, who will be walking us through her experiences and her work so far. So once again, you're welcome, Emelda, and please go ahead to introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marita. It's truly an honor for me. My name is Emily, serving with a civil society organization in Cameroon, the Southwest region to be precise. The name of the organization is Royalty World. I have served in different capacities since 2022. I started as the coordinator of a Restore Her Dignity project, which was all about menstrual hygiene, the dignity of a girl child. I moved to women's empowerment project, and now I'm into capacity building, mental health, and still into everything girl child. So that's what I'm doing right now. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for um, this detailed introduction of yourself and again for the work that you do. So, first off, let's get in. What got you glued to this area of work that speaks to the prevention of gender based violence, but also the response to incident or cases of gender based violence?
Well, I would say it goes really, really far back. Sometimes we grow up, and at some point in life, it hits us that this thing did not just start now. It's something that's been boiling in your heart, maybe since childhood or maybe since your teenage years. So I grew up in a typical rural community in the Northwest region, in Mancon village. And nobody talked about violence. It was happening, but nobody ever termed it violence. It's just common to see somebody beating the wife or somebody maltreating a child physically. You see bruises all over them and the rest. But I never thought that it was something that was lawfully punishable or not correct according to the law. But I just remember that somewhere in my heart, I detested those scenes. I didn't like seeing them. I didn't like seeing a child suffer. I didn't like the news of a girl child who had been raped and all people could say was sorry. Or a woman who had been beaten to the point of death and all the community would say was, now married, let her just endure, and all of that. So as I grew up, I had that in my heart. And I remember I kept telling myself, I want to be the voice of the voiceless. I want to be the person who stands up for the people who do not have the power to speak out, or maybe because somebody's telling them not to speak out. So fortunately for me, I found myself in the Department of Women and Gender Study, which is just a step further to help me understand this sector. It's one thing to have a passion, it's another thing to have knowledge to go about it the right way. And after that, I was like, God, you know what? I want to be in a place where I can fully serve the voice. And I served in a couple of organizations, but I was really not playing that role there once I came to Royalty World. When I saw the Restore Her Dignity project, like, this is for me, this looks like me. And so I came for it. And though it was stacked menstrual hygiene, I had a hidden agenda behind it. So each time I'm going to schools, each time I'm going into communities, I had something at the back of my mind to impact identity on young girls and teenage mothers because they were like my target population. And so when I'm going out, I'm holding a part, but I have a hidden agenda behind it. Because just like me, I feel like many girls in our context grow up and they are not trained to be bold. They are not trained to be assertive. They are not trained to even identify what's right for them and what's wrong for them. And that's exactly what I was using that project to do. I was calling out the identity in young girls through that project. And as a result of that, I was spent a few days in a community, and a girl or teenager or a teenage mom or an adolescent girl will just come up to me and tell me, Auntie, I was raped, and they have never told anybody before. I'll be the first person to hear it. And so that triggered something in me. I'm like, you know what? This project is not just about menstrual hygiene. Yes, menstrual hygiene is important, but there is something hidden. There's something that culture has, I don't know, but it has hindered our girls from communicating, from talking. How come she has been in that community for years? She has been raped, and it's 5, 10 years. Nobody has ever heard, but she has just met me 2 days and she's speaking up. And so after I had those experiences, I had a couple of them in communities. I told myself, I have to do something about this. I cannot just keep hearing stories like this, experiences like this. How many more of these young girls have gone through this and they have not had the opportunity to tell somebody? So that was really the point for me. And I think that was 2023 where I had those experiences in communities, because I was a tourist. I was moving from place to place with my message of dignity, identity, and the rest. And I thought myself, Melda, you have to take this thing a step forward. So that was really just the foundation of it. It started from childhood, but those dignity campaigns, they really just sparked something. And that was the beginning of the journey for me.
Hey, this is super amazing. This is super amazing. I mean, I've been moved when I was so moved when I heard you say that you, after seeing all of these repeated incidents at community level and maybe people coming up to you probably to confide in you, you felt like you want to be part of the solution. You want to be you want to be the voice. You want to help them in, finding their identity, but also being very assertive, right? So, in the context of gender-based violence, how have you so far, gone ahead to leave this dream? What is it that you've been doing, or what is it that you plan to do even further, right after, in addition to what you've done already?
Okay. So mentioned at the beginning of introducing myself that I presently work with Royalty World, and in this space you're allowed to dream, and you're allowed to pursue your passions. So I step out there, I see something, and I'm allowed to innovate, to bring up new projects to address what I see in the field, and I sense that okay, if we address this issue, we'll actually be touching more lives. So I started something that we call period parties. Yes. So I find out that at the community level, we're not brought up to talk. We are not brought up to have conversations with our parents. They don't even know how to start intimate conversations with us. It's about school fee, what you wear, what you eat, and that is it. And so I started this space where we would bring together young girls and their mothers and fathers, and we would intentionally create an experience that will open room for conversation. So we do that. We put in resources into it. We make the place beautiful. We make it look like a party, really. And we have an agenda to cause the child and the parents to be able to have conversations beyond mama or papa, I need school fee. So I've been able to have those parties here in Boya and in some communities in Bamenda as well. I think that was the first step I took. The second thing I also I proposed an initiative which was greatly supported by my organization. I call it the care zone. We have 2 rooms now in the organization that have been set aside, and we just call it the care zone. And we've just made it a space where, you know what, if you come here, you know you're safe to talk to somebody. In this space, you will not be judged. You will not be questioned. Why did you dress like that? Why did you go here at this time? Why did you talk like that and all of that? Why did you first of all marry this man? Didn't you see the red flags? It's a space where nobody's going to judge you. In the humanitarian world, we really call it safe spaces, but I call it the care zone. I like to mark it such that it's going to communicate exactly what I intended for that space to achieve. So I call it the care zone. So around here, our projects, protection projects, economic empowerment projects, and education projects, they are tailored such that the beneficiaries that we come across, they go through the care zone. And if there's something hidden, they know that they can find safety and confide in us in that space. If they've been going through some sort of a form of violence in that space, by the time we have 1, 2, 3 sessions with them, you see they're opening up gradually, and before you know it, they're communicating stuff. So those are the two main things that I've been able to do within the organization.
Yeah.
But far beyond that, personally, I avail myself. I call me to talk to young girls anytime, any day, anywhere. I'm showing up. I'm showing up. Yes, so I do that. Churches, organizations, they organize events. I show up and I just inspire young girls to push to discover their identity beyond the four walls of their homes and beyond the four walls of what society says that they are. So I think those are the actions I've been able to take so far.
Right. You know, Imelda, I'm really trying to take myself, like to put myself already in that care zone, because I feel like um being or not being a survivor of gender-based violence, we all need some level of care. And it takes me really back to the days when I used to do gender-based violence case management. And I remember that supporting internally displaced persons in Douala, particularly at the time we were running a safe space and a shelter, a temporal shelter at the time. And I discovered that most times survivors do not necessarily need you to do just a lot for them. Sometimes they just don't need a huge amount of money. Sometimes they just want
Yeah.
to let out that which has piled up inside of them for a very, very
Yeah.
long time. And yet, the society or those in their environment, or looking at this ecological framework, the society, the community, the family, nobody has been able to create a safe environment that allows them to talk, like to express themselves, like to talk about what they're going through or what is going through them, right? And
Yeah.
this is huge. This is big
Ex-
because I once read from someone who said the biggest fight you can ever pick in this world is a fight against yourself. So
Yeah.
I imagine a survivor who moves around, a survivor of gender-based violence, whatever type of gender-based violence is, because I feel like a lot of times we put rape far up there, but
Yeah.
we do not look at the mental aspect of it. We do not look at things like physical violence or harmful traditional practices that can cause someone's life as well. You mentioned economic empowerment, and these are the types of gender-based violence. You working with adolescents and having those hard conversations with their parents. That's big because this is challenging the taboo. This is breaking those taboos. This is creating one-on-one relationship. And I find that very meaningful to me because um, if a child is being abused and that child has that bond with the parent, the child can conveniently talk to the parent about what the situation or what the experience they've lived, and they can take timely action. And I really like this about the work you do because um, gender-based violence response many times is so time-centered. So this is a lot of work you're doing out there and super commendable, super
Thank you.
commendable. Yeah, I mean this whole aspect of being able to listen to people talk. I had situations where a woman could come and you just give her over 30 minutes to just pour pour her frustrations, her worries, her concerns out. And many times they leave very relieved. So I feel like we're out there looking for the big things, but I'm referring to this sort of interventions as the smaller ones, but these are the smaller ones that get to change a life in the space of no time. So again, again, you've been doing this. What are this very important work that really also has touched me right in the heart as we speak, because it takes me back to the days when I sat right in front of survivors and to listen to their stories. How easy has this process been for you? Because I feel like the many times the willingness to listen to the stories are there, but there is also chances that it's like someone emptying in your own cup and you ending up with a filled cup. How do you
Yeah.
manage it? How do you manage it? How has it been like for you? Has it been an easy process?
Not at all. It
Okay.
is not an easy process.
Yeah.
It's not been an easy process. I think people walk around, they carry their atmospheres, they carry their aura, and they come with all of that into that room where you are. And whether you like it or not, when they're communicating to you, they are releasing their pain, their hurt, every emotion into that room. And the way we've been wired as human beings, whether you like it or not, your body is picking up those things as well. It's picking them up, and you don't have to cry when they're crying, of course. So you are listening, you're conscious, but you have to be professional at the same time. It's a lot of things just going on. You're managing your emotions to manage them, to help them, and you just want them to leave that place free. But I think what makes the process beautiful is the fact that they are coming and depending on you to help them, and that's all they know. But you know that you can pour into them, and you are conscious of what you can do to pour back into yourself. So that's really how I manage. So I also have someone that I can run to and pour out to, and just say, you know what, I've had it up to here. My chest is heavy, and sometimes it affects even my own emotions, and I have to be conscious to sort myself out. I have to consciously sort myself out. So I think a couple of measures that I've taken, I don't do beyond maybe 3 interventions in a day if I have to sit in a room and listen to people, because it's heavy. It's just heavy. You just realize you're going home. It's like your shoulders, you have weight here, you have weight on your head, you have weight on your back, and all of that. But I also have somebody that after all of that, I just go to them and just kind of just detox, and just detox. But there's also the joy of watching these people progressively come to terms, or just make peace, or come to a realization, or just find a path to freedom. There's just something watching them. That's another therapy for me. Being able to sit there, watch somebody cry all along, or listen to somebody tell you very painful experiences. And sometimes I don't need, like you said, I don't need to say anything. I don't need to say anything. And there's also the place where you have to be so discerning. There's no automatic fix that works for every person that walks into the room. Everybody has their own experience, and you have to just discern to know, for this one I just have to listen, for this one I just need to give them a tissue, for this one I just need to give them water, for this one I just need to be nodding and let the person know I'm here, for this one I need to have a further conversation with them. So there's discernment, there's being conscious of what your body can take as well and what your mind can take. And there's also the place where you step out to get help for yourself so you can continue to help people. So it has not been easy, but I'm not giving up. I'm not dropping it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that reminds me, I tell the stories all the time. This particular story all the time, especially when I used to do a lot of trainings around GBV case management. I used to tell participants that a story where my boss once called my lines manager at the time we were in Yaoundé to respond to a case in a manner. And this was a case of a survivor that has gone through multiple phases of assault or many difficult experiences, from being an internally displaced person to being raped by her church pastor to doing, a job which she saved up in a bank, and the bank liquidated and went away with her money to her phone getting missing. So she went mentally destabilized such that she had to go walking on the streets. And when we got there, Imelda, she wouldn't be expressive. And I like when you said you need to be discerning at some point in time, because we went there with the PFA guide, the psychosocial support guide. We flipped that book from start to end, and there was nothing we could do. That book just couldn't help us do anything at that time, right? So what did we do at the time? My boss, first of all, my lines manager had to ask us to pray first of all. So she said, let's pray for her, because we had also learned that she was a Christian. Her older sister with whom she was living had indicated that she was a Christian. So we started off by praying. And I think that made her gain some confidence in us. And she got to pay a little bit of attention, right? So this is again to say that there is no particular pattern, in as much as when it comes to gender-based violence, case management, and your work, you've been doing falls within that scope as well. There is a document and there is key procedures that we follow in that regard, but at some point to kickstart with, there is no particular
No.
drafted procedure you will have to follow, essentially to gain people's confidence and get them talking. And I
Yeah.
really so much agree with you. I really so much agree with you, because you need that discernment to point to what key interventions you're supposed to. So, are there, I get that you we used to call it offloading. You have somebody to whom you go offload with, but are there some
Yeah.
principles that you've put in place to help you get this job done fluidly?
Um, yeah, I should say yes. I should say yes. If I am not certain that I am in a healthy space, I will not force myself to take a session, because these are very delicate issues. You can either go in there and cause more harm, or you give help to the survivor. So I'm very conscious. I do self check. All right, Imelda, your mind, check. Physical health, check. Your emotions, check. I have to check those. I have to check those, and I have to make sure, like, if I plan that this week I'm going to be talking to somebody, I'm very conscious, and I pray. I pray, because at the end of the day, I'm a Christian. I believe that the power of transformation is truly in the hands of
Mm,
God. And so when
mm,
I'm walking there, there's a consciousness that my mouth is a tool that God is going to use to release utterance from Him through me. So I'm
mm,
very and I think that's a very big factor that keeps me. That's a very, very big factor that keeps me. I've purposed it. If I'm talking to somebody, I have to find out from God, okay, how is this session going today? Like I mentioned about discernment. I don't want the sessions to be ordinary. I don't want somebody to just walk in and just leave
yeah.
without getting help. And
Mm,
sometimes, like you said, there are multiple things you can do. There are several routes you can take, but the ability to hit the point that gets someone to open up to you, that's something really, really rare, and I'm conscious about that. I'm very conscious about that. So I check my emotional state, I check my physical state. If physically I'm feeling sick, malaria, typhoid, or something, I'll sort myself out first. There's the principle of safety. When it comes to humanitarian work, you have to be sure that you're safe first. If not, you'll not be there to offer help to the next person. So I ensure that physically I'm fine, mentally I am fine, and of course, God first.
that's it. That's it. I like that. I like that. So, now the frustration about this part of, you know, psychosocial support many times is that sometimes they pour out their concerns,
Yeah.
and it could be frustrating if you do not have direct solutions to provide these people, how do you navigate that? I mean, because talking is one thing, offloading and pouring out is a very good step, but you want to also support, because sometimes most of those experiences that are shared are because of life situations, which in many instances could be a GBV type they're experiencing. It could be economic. I know that Realty World provides an array of services. So, in situations where you listen and then you understand what their needs are, what are the steps that you take moving forward?
All right. So the care zone is like the entry route into royalty world. If you want to benefit from our education program, you have to go through the care zone so we understand your physical and emotional needs. If you want to benefit from our economic empowerment program, you have to. So as we identify beneficiaries, first thing, sessions in the care zone. Then we now onboard them into whichever program that we want them to benefit from. So it's in the care zone that we discover if they need to go back to school, if they need money to start a business, even if they need some specialists when it comes to psychosocial support, if they need a specialist and all of that. So I don't do this alone, because sometimes I listen and I can tell that this goes beyond my expertise. This one goes beyond my expertise. So we have a couple of organizations that we also partner with. So I can do referrals. There are people who would offer non-food items. There are people who offer financial support. When we have funding, we can offer the support, especially when it comes to economic empowerment. When we identify those whose children have been out of school, our education program can take them in and offer maybe scholarship or space to study, because we have a space here where we have a teacher who can tutor even children who do not have the opportunity to go to school. So we offer those range of services. We also have a couple of platforms that we make available to the public. There's a platform for women, there's a platform for young people, there's a platform for children within the organization. So we ensure that it doesn't just end in the care zone, but we are gradually bringing you into community of like-minded people so that you can be learning, you can also be growing. Yeah, if it's economic, if the resources are there within Reality World, we offer it. If not, we refer to other organizations. So I have organizations that I can refer to when it comes to psychosocial support, if it comes to documentation, like ID cards, birth certificates, stuff like that. I have organizations I can refer to when it comes to law, like if they need a lawyer to follow up a case and and stuff like that. So I really work with referral pathways, and it's helping. We I don't think we even offer like half of it, but all these small support services are really helping. Yeah.
I mean, that's great, and I really respect the work you do, because it is some. I feel like sometimes somebody might be coming with the intention of getting economic support, but after listening to the person's situation or case, you might be able to even further provide the person with information which can help redirect that person. So it is good that you're that entry point, but also that buffer, that sieve, if I may call it so, that provides that kind of support. Now, what are some of the challenges that you experience while providing this service? Because somebody listening to you out there right now might feel like, oh, I'm going to go out there and create my own care zone as well. It's like a laudable initiative. It sounds really great. This is how beneficial it is to the organization, and this is how enthusiastic the person who found it, or who spearheads that, actually feels about the program. But what are some of those challenges that you I would say, some challenges which you encounter on a daily implementing this very laudable initiative?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I would say that the first challenge for me
Mhm.
is being able to break through that mindset of, I think it's a cultural thing where we don't see the need to seek help. We don't see the need to talk about what we are experiencing. We don't see the need to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is tagged as weakness. We expect it to be strong. You can handle it. You're strong and all of that. So sometimes you start having a walk with somebody, and all of a sudden they just bail on the process, and you're wondering what is happening. Okay, this person came here, they was so enthusiastic, it was going just fine, just fine, just fine. They just spoke to somebody, and the person just was like, ah, you can do this, you're strong, you're this and you're that. And I think that's a big thing I really have to face, and that's why we do a lot of sensitization as well, to let people know that it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to share what you're going through, and we're really hammering on the principle of confidentiality, because I think there's also something that if I say my thing here, I'll hear it from A, B, C, and Z. So we are really hammering on that to let you know that what happens within these four walls stays within these four walls, unless your life is at stake or the life of a third party is at
Mm.
stake. If not, it stays within these four walls. And if it has to go out, I will ask your permission. So we're also doing that sensitization in the community. I would say my second challenge is resources. Like sometimes I sit and I wonder, like, if I had the resources, how far I would go. I don't like sitting in the office space in front of the laptop doing stuff. That's not me. I'm just like, I'll just be shooting myself from one community to the other, and the rest and the rest and the rest. But when it comes to resources, it's difficult, it's challenging. Reason why I've just been in my 16 for now, since the space is there. But if I have my way, I'll just keep going and keep going. If I have my way, I would run radio programs and TV programs, just have a slot there where we can really keep sending out this message. And I don't know if I have another challenge. Manpower is another challenge.
Yeah.
As it stands, yeah, I wish I had two more persons.
Yeah.
Two more persons. Sometimes I have a pile and there's a list like that waiting for me, and I'm multitasking. I'm going to this one here, come on to this one here, one year to this one year, and then I'm running back. And there's also the place where maybe the family of a survivor is not so supportive.
Yeah.
They are not into the process like the survivor is. They're not given the support that the survivor needs. And I think all these structures, they play a very important role in the process of GBV response. They play a very important role. So if they have not even bought the idea, talk less of supporting the survivor, it makes it difficult sometimes. Sometimes you have to reach out to a survivor using the contact number of the parent or a guardian or an auntie or an uncle. And sometimes it just strains things, it prolongs things here and there and stuff. So those are a couple of challenges I must say I've been facing
Yeah.
so far. But
Yeah.
it's more beautiful than it's not.
Uh-huh. I get you. I get that, and it's not easy. And despite these challenges, you still keep pushing. I really admire your dedication, your focus, and desire to, you know, uh, um, impact people's lives, also impact the lives of survivors, and you continually you're routinely on that. I would call it innovation spree, because I know if I poke you now, there would be like five other plans loaded
Yes,
at the level of your sleeves, waiting to just be unleashed
exactly.
like that. So I know that you had said in the earlier on at your introduction that the impact you see in the lives of those whom you've worked with also keeps you going. And now that you've even highlighted some of your challenges, it makes me even want to ask, like, what are some of these impact stories or achievements you've gotten so far ever since you started this program, which have wowed you? Like sometimes when you see or when you go through your documentation and you look at them, or when you see these people concerned, you're like, God, thank you. This makes me want to do more. Do you have any
Yeah.
of those success stories, or are there some of those wow moments you would like to share?
Yeah, I think I mentioned one at the start. I would say one of my wow moments was 2024, if I'm not mistaken, in Bamenda. We had a pure party in a hotel in Bamenda. We brought together these, they're mostly displaced girls and their parents. And I remember this young girl in the hall. She did not have a mother there. She didn't have a father there. She was a displaced person, but her school counselor insisted that she should show up. And the school counselor was a man, and he said, "I'm going to be your father here." And while the conversation was going on and everything, we have a session where the child professes love to the parent and assures them that she is going to open up to them about anything. And then the parent also in turn expresses love to the child and tells them that I'm open for any conversation. You can tell me anything. And I remember when it was going on, she just started crying in the hall. And I remember her counselor just holding her. And it was like the first time in her life that somebody spoke to her, a fatherly figure spoke to her like that. It's the first time she received words of affirmation. It's the first time a male figure made her to feel safe. She cried the entire time in the arms of her counselor. To me, that was the highlight of that campaign. Like, if I traveled to Bamenda just for that girl, that was enough. It was enough for me. Watching one adolescent girl just feeling safe, feeling secure, feeling protected, feeling enough from just one conversation. That is the biggest. Each time I look at that picture, to me, like, oh my god. And then another highlight for me is so most times when we organize this thing, mothers show up, fathers hardly show up, mothers show up with the girls. They have a challenge communicating, but the fathers have a bigger challenge communicating. But we're still glad that the mothers show up. So I remember this party here in Boya, and this father shows up with his two girls, and
What?
he's with them in the hall everywhere. Like, he's just there. And I have this picture of him where he's kneeling down before the two of them, and they are looking at him straight in the face like that. Like, that picture doesn't leave my mind. It's so beautiful, and I just remember him. We call it the parent declaration. I remember him telling them, "You can talk to me about anything," and with a huge smile on his face. And they were just looking at their dad like this. It was like, it's the first time it was happening. It was surprising, but you could see the assurance on their face. So those are some of the moments to me. And of course, the ones where you're able to create a safe space in the community where a girl comes and tells you, "Auntie, this has happened to me. Auntie, I want to tell you something." They just pull you to one corner. "Auntie, to tell you something." So for me, if I can go out there and create those experiences every day, it's worth it. They're stuck in my head. Those images are stuck in my head. They don't go anywhere. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like asking, when is your next event coming out, please? Everyone needs to be in that hall. Everyone needs to be in that hall because what?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. We
mean,
do
this
that.
is
Like,
this is great because we live in moments and times when parents are chasing the bag. We live in
yeah.
times when parents are saying that which I didn't have, my children must have. As a result, we do 9 to 5s. And by the time
Mm-hmm.
you're back with all the Moliko traffic, you're getting home at about 7 p.m. Children are
Ah,
focused on assignments, And then before you know, before 9, they're off to bed and you're off to
Yeah.
bed as well. Before 7, you're off to work. And there is never
Yeah.
the time to bond and to have a
Mm.
conversation, right?
Yeah.
And to have a child that has somebody who represents a fatherly figure to her, something which she hasn't had before. I mean, this is just super amazing, even if it means living that situation once in a lifetime. It's
Yeah.
priceless. It's
Mhm.
priceless.
Very, very.
It's so priceless. And living those moments, these are things that you never, I can give you a pair of shoe and this shoe would
Yeah.
get bad and then you discard that shoe.
Yeah.
But creating these memories would last for a lifetime. And
Yeah.
I see your activity in two ways, not just um, a father to child bonding or a mother to daughter bonding, but also instilling in the minds of the parents that you have a responsibility here. Because
Yeah.
many times we've been in those situations where a survivor would open up to you and tell you, um, I was once assaulted by my cousin,
Yeah.
my step brother, or my mother's friend or my father's friend. But if you do not create that environment that allows that one-to-one conversation, you would never know that your daughter or your son, as is the case currently, is being assaulted beneath your roof and right under your nose. So
Yeah.
this is this is really really important, and I feel like out of the northwest and southwest regions, or out of Boya and Bamenda, there is need to scale up this activity. And again, given that you're working in the context of crisis, where people have lost, some children have lost their one of their parents and have never been in that space where it feels like feeling the presence of that fatherly figure or that motherly figure for over a long time, and yet having somebody who steps into those shoes even for a minute, it means just a lot. It
Yeah.
means just a lot. And I would never have thought that this is the work you do. But I know that if there is anyone listening out there who wants to do a similar thing or who wants to create impact in a similar way, there is
Yeah.
Emelda to your rescue. This is Emelda to your rescue. So you want to reach out. You want to collaborate with her because this is something she has tested and this is something
Yeah.
that has worked. This is somebody who has that outreach experience, and this is that person that loves community engagement to the core. This is that person who enjoys being there, not just within the papers and policy, but reinforcing the implementation of all of those which we've had stuck in the papers. Because I have been, if you do not take information closer to people, sometimes they do not even know
Yeah.
that, like you mentioned, like back in the days, we didn't even know what assault was because people normalized it. And there is still
Yeah.
somebody out there who thinks the same. So if you need that organization or that person that runs your project or implements them to the core, this is Imelda to your rescue. So reach out, reach out. I know, yeah, I know that this whole thing of people being able to open up to you, it doesn't happen with just everybody. So if you need your team being trained on how to go about it, I think this is Imelda still to your rescue. So you want to reach out ASAP so that she drills you and your team on how to get to that level where you can raise awareness to the point where you create a safe space for especially not just women, but also especially adolescent girls to open up and, share their concerns, because that's the first step to being heard and also being supported or being helped. That's a cool thing to do. So now, um, if there is a survivor and a policy maker listening to you right away, what's that message you want to pass to this two group of people?
Okay. I think I think to any survivor out there who has not spoken to anybody about what they are experiencing, I'll say that silence is a weapon that it empowers violence. Silence empowers violence. But speaking up and putting your voice out there, your voice is the weapon that destroys it. They say that sin and evil thrives in darkness, it thrives in secrecy. But when it is exposed, when it is brought to light, then it can be stopped. And there are people out there who are willing to listen to you and understand you. Let me talk like the person is right in front of me. There are hundreds of people who would listen to you, understand you, and not judge you. There are hundreds of people out there who have gone through what you've gone through, and they have made through, they have fought, they have conquered, and they are pushing through in life. So wherever you are, whatever you have gone through, there is a way forward. But the first step to joining the path to the way forward is you deciding to speak up. I'm Emelda. I'm based in Boya, in Royalty World. Wherever you are in the country, I'm sure you can reach us. I'm sure that Marita will be able to connect you to us somehow, and you'll be able to get the help that you need. To policymakers out there, this thing is real. It is real. In the Northwest and the Southwest region, I can tell you many girls are going through this. Families have been separated, so many dysfunctional homes out there because this one has to stay with uncle, stay with auntie to go to school. Most times they don't tell us what happens in those homes. Most times the women don't tell us what they're going through. The young boys don't even tell us what they are going through because it's not just about women. Young boys are going through stuff as well. And so I think that in as much as we just ratify the international conventions and sign the documents, there is a place where we build, should I say, structures that are able to provide the right kind of help. Because I'll be very honest with you, most times I want to be quick to reach out to organizations, but I want to get to the place where the first person to reach out to is a government institution. Because sometimes we reach out to these people and you have to pay for those services, which is one of the biggest challenges I feel. You have to pay for those services. And sometimes as an organization, we cannot afford that. But if we have those social services that are available and we know that we can easily reach out, and even if the victim doesn't reach out to us, they can easily go straight to those institutions. I think it's going to make things a lot easier. So beyond papers that we sign, can we put in place the structures physically? We can see it, we can touch it, we can access it. I think access is a key point here. We can easily access it. We can call and somebody picks up and tells us you can get the help that you need. And maybe a 911 line in Cameroon, I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not have
Why
a
not?
911 line in Cameroon? Yes,
Why?
and I think, why not? I came in contact with an organization. Unfortunately, I don't have their info, but they are doing like an online help kind of thing where you can dial a particular number and somebody somewhere will answer you and attend to you. I think something like that is going on in the country. I have that card somewhere. I'm going to get the information. But these services are coming up, but I need to see the state institutions coming up strongly through the other institutions. So I'll say that that's it for me.
Awesome. Awesome. I really like the fact that you hit it hard on the fact that it doesn't end at ratifying conventions. It doesn't end at domesticating international, protocols and the rest. It goes as far as allocating budgets that allow for, you know, country and community friendly interventions that can help us to eventually curb the prevalence of gender based violence in our communities, especially among adolescents who still depend a lot on caregivers to be able to access carved out services for them, or say for the population at large. So I think this is the way to go, moving beyond words to action. That transition before from just mere words to action. That's what will bring about the sort of change we want to see. So before
Yeah.
we go, any final words from you?
Any final words from me? What to say? I must say that this this has been an awesome opportunity for me. Each time I talk about it, I feel like it comes alive more on the inside of me, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it. Like you're saying, and I'm talking and I'm having new ideas. I have a book and a pen beside me. Like,
Uh-huh.
okay, new things and new things and new things that
I
keep
guess
coming
I
up.
guess I
So
guess Royalty World should call you the innovation officer right now. They need to put you on their innovation panels or their innovation teams.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. My limitation, it's resources. I can go as far and as wide as I can go. And I think my last word to maybe anyone who is watching, any parent, any guardian will be this: we can empower the next generation that is coming up um, to be bold, to be courageous. Courage is not disrespect. Courage is
Mm,
not the courage is an understanding of who you are and walking fully it unapologetically. So I'm looking at the parents of this generation bringing up boys and girls who know who they are. Trust me, if we grow up to know who we are, we won't let anybody talk down to us. We won't let anybody abuse us emotionally, physically, or otherwise, or economically, because you know who you are. And so that to me is the core and the foundation of everything that I do. If people know who they are, we'll resolve a lot of these things that are going on. We will be able to say, hey, you're more than this. They'll be able to discover it for themselves. This thing is beneath who I am. And so I drop it and I keep moving. So it's an encouragement I'm giving to every parent out there. It's a call to move beyond work, to having time to bring up children who are, they know their potential and they're pursuing it fully. Thank you. I think that will be the last from me.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Imelda, for making out time for this very interesting conversation. We could go on and on, but again, I know that we will be able to make out time for another conversation subsequently. And to you at home or to you out there who's been following us through this conversation, we thank you for hanging in. And if you've been following through still, my name is Marita Nankeng, and I've been your host. And thank you so much, Imelda, for coming along and for sharing with
Thank
us
you.
your very, very rich experience. We look forward to having you again. And up until then, Ita, bye bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.